What's up, YouTube? It's the God Almighty, DomUniverse. Today, I wanted to talk about why you're single and why relationships don't work for you. This is also something I had to learn, right? Because we often get into relationships, and before we get into those relationships, we think we ready. We think before we ready to deal with the consequences and what comes with the relationship. But when we get like in the middle, it's like, damn, maybe I'm not ready for this relationship, right? So when you find yourself having a hard time finding a partner, or you wondering why you single or why relationships don't work for you, that is because it's time for you to work on yourself. See, the universe put everything right in front of you. It aligns you at the right time for you to get what you need or what you're supposed to have. So if you're not in a relationship, or it's hard for you to find somebody, or you keep on getting out of relationships, in and out, it's because it's not time for you to get in a relationship. That's something I had to learn the hard way. Because a lot of people start to feel like, damn, I've been alone for a long time. I'm starting to feel bored with myself, or it's starting to get lonely. You should not be getting bored with yourself. That's one thing I also realized. I don't get bored. I've always been the person who had fun by myself if I had to. If I'm by myself, I don't never get bored. I get bored if I'm around somebody before I ever get bored by myself. I can entertain myself because I love myself. I had read a quote one time that said something along the lines of isolating yourself can become addicting. It really can. Being alone by yourself can become addicting. Now, it depends how you look at that. Like, if you like to be alone and just weep and be depressed and just isolate yourself from the world, that's a bad thing. But being alone and like entertaining yourself, never getting bored, just having fun by yourself, that shit starts to become, you will want to do that more than being around people. Because a lot of times when you around people, especially empaths, they absorb too much energy, and that becomes draining. So it's actually, I would prefer to be alone. I've been this way for fucking years. I've had 2 instances where people told me they thought I was dead. Remember I said school can become a training ground? I stopped hanging out with everybody when I got in high school. I progressively stopped hanging out with people. And to the point where I stopped seeing there, I stopped going to parties, I stopped hanging out with people, I stopped hitting people up. Something subconsciously made me stop doing that. I always wonder, why the fuck am I not hanging out with my old friends that I grew up with no more? Now I know why. Why is it hard why is it hard to find a relationship? You want to be with somebody who is like you. You attract who you are, right? You don't want nobody who is nothing like you, or don't like to do the things you do, or can't connect with you on a spiritual level. That is one of the best and main things you get when you supposed to have when you're in a relationship. Because when you're in a relationship, oftentimes y'all go through something called synchronicity, where y'all always thinking the same thing, completing each other's sentences, or you probably think about something a certain time in the day, and your partner bring it up to you a later time in the day. That's something that happened to me a lot. I always experience synchronicity. Now that happens. It don't matter if you far away from them or not. You're going to experience that. That's because spiritually you guys are communicating telepathically and with the heart. You two are connected in the spiritual plane. You remember, it's a spiritual plane. It's a whole realm around us that we don't see with the physical eyes. So yeah, there's that. You're not supposed to force shit. And some people not even here to be in a relationship. Like, but here's another thing. You're supposed to be practicing self-love if you're not in a relationship. That lets you know another thing. Now, some people, they not in a relationship by choice, but at the same time, it could be deeper than that. you having a hard time connecting with people. You want somebody who can connect with you. That's one thing I see. Ever since I started becoming more and more spiritual, I realized that, because based off of the females I've dated and been talking to, I realized I'm like a fucking prize. I am a prize. You can, like, my dick is healthy, organic, and vegan. You're not getting this. I don't give a fuck. You're not getting this. It could be the best looking female in the world. She can get ignored. I've always been that way. I don't care about looks. Looks mean nothing. Looks mean nothing to me. It's about your personality. If you can't connect with somebody personality wise, how the fuck are y'all gonna be together? You, like, let's say you are high in consciousness and they low in conscious. A lot of times you're gonna have to bring yourself down low in conscious to be able to communicate with that person. Now let's say you in a relationship. I talked about this in the video. Let's say you are in a relationship and then you go through a spiritual awakening. You are going to drift away from your partner, whether you like it or not, especially if your third eye open. You're going to start to realize, oh, this person is a parasite, an energy vampire. They like to eat meat. They have a lot of dark energy inside of them. Now, I'm not saying a relationship can't work, but oftentimes you start to drift away from your partner when you have a spiritual awakening. You cannot look at that as a bad thing. That is just you detoxing your life. When you have a spiritual awakening, you start detoxing everything, your body, your life, everything. You start to get the parasites out. Now, another thing about this is with twin flames, some people have a twin flame. Some people don't have a twin flame. A twin flame is two people who share a soul. Some people have one, some people don't. Some people got to go through certain obstacles in order to find them. You have to start loving yourself. In order for you to be able to give love, you have to have enough love for yourself, 100%. Developing love for yourself makes you able to give love. You are building it inside yourself in order for you to give it out. So you have to go within for you to give it out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, that's not it, but self-love is very important. You need that in order for you to ascend. Otherwise, you'll be coming back to this life, no problem. But twin flames, everybody don't got a twin flame. Now that don't mean you can't get in a relationship and make it work. Now that's nobody's saying that. But soulmates and twin flames are not the same thing. That's another thing. Anybody can be a soulmate. Excuse me. A twin flame is two people that share a soul, and you align yourself with that person eventually when you work on yourself. See, you can have a twin flame and not be with them for years because either one of y'all or two of y'all not ready for a relationship, or y'all two may get together when y'all both not ready and end up becoming ready while y'all together. The thing about twin flames is you're not supposed to think about a twin flame as something that's all unicorns and flowers and like it's all fine and dandy. Twin flame relationships are hard as fuck. I put that on God. Twin flame relationships are hard as fuck. You can see this. You can look this stuff up. Of course there's gonna be arguments in relationships. That's one way to even make relationship work, is when you're supposed to use arguments to defeat a problem together. When you arguing, y'all settling differences, right? Then y'all supposed to take those differences and talk about them, work them out. Whatever problems it is, y'all supposed to, while y'all arguing with each other, y'all supposed to be pointing these things out. It's not supposed to be you versus your partner. It's supposed to be you and your partner versus the problems, versus the world, period. But everybody not supposed to be in a relationship. Everybody not put here to be in a relationship. Some people have a purpose that excludes relationships. Some people are put here just to align with their twin flame. But know that just because you don't have a twin flame, like spiritually, just because you don't, and another thing is just because you have a twin flame, before I get to that, it does not mean you don't have your own soul. If you have a twin flame, you have a soul. That don't mean you have to depend on that person or you gotta wait your whole life for that person to come. You are able to live on your own. You have a soul of your own, so you don't feel like you're not whole or feel like you have to be with somebody to feel fulfilled. You are whole by yourself. You are fulfilled by yourself. In order for you to love, You have to love yourself. Period. You're not supposed to be here feeling like, oh, it's been a long time since I've been with somebody. Matter of fact, while we talking about this, let me see something. Okay. So with this twin flame stuff, with the self-love, with you being single, the universe is always gonna put you in the right position. So you may be you may be online, you may be watching a video, you may be out somewhere, you may be the universe may be trying to put you in line with your twin flame. So let's say you see it, you dreaming about somebody, you probably was with your twin flame before and y'all broke up. Like, it could be any amount of time ago, like years ago, months ago, weeks ago, however long it was. You may have been with them, broke up with them, and haven't been with them in a while. It don't matter. That could still be your twin flame. Like, you may have dreams about them. You might start seeing their name places. It's about synchronicity. You're going to always be synchronized with your partner. Whether y'all together or not, y'all going to end up attracting each other eventually in your life. Now, you may feel like, what is the odds of me meeting my twin flame? My twin flame could be anywhere in the world. That's somewhat true. But it don't matter about it. You're not supposed to worry about when you're going to meet them. You got to worry about yourself, because you are naturally going to align with your twin flame. But don't ever look towards external forces to give you something that you already got or that you already have or can give yourself. You're supposed to feel like you self-dependent or independent, like that song by Neo. But yeah, don't depend on another person to make you feel good. Whether you have a twin flame or not, or whether you with them, you have yourself. You are capable of loving yourself. You are capable of making yourself happy. You are capable of entertaining yourself. And if it ever came down to it, you able to please yourself sexually. But fuck sex. We're not talking about sex. You don't need sex, period. But yeah, anything a person can give you, you can give yourself. Money, cars, jewelry, anything. You can cater to yourself more than anybody can. This is why I say love thyself. That's one of my biggest quotes. Love thyself. When you start to love yourself, it's some people become egotistic, but what it is when you start to love yourself, you start to treat yourself like a priority. You start to be in a way reserved, where you feel like, okay, I'm not talking to them, they not good enough for me due to their energy. Don't become egotistic like that, but know your worth. Know what you should be having in your life. Know what type of people you should be having in your life. Know what you should be putting up with. Because if you get in a relationship and you arguing all the time and it's toxic and there's gaslighting and there's all type of just random bullshit that don't make no sense, or y'all arguing for petty shit, or it become competitive, it's time to leave. You will know when you are with your twin flame. No person, just because you and somebody have a lot in common, does not mean that is your twin flame, and that does not mean you are meant to be. That does not mean you're twin flames. Because any two people can have a lot of everything in common, actually, and not be with each other, not be meant for each other. It's people out here who have similarities. That don't make a twin flame. It's about the soul connection. You will start to feel that shit inside and out. But that's pretty much it. Don't wait around for nobody. You might start feeling it later on in your life. Like, sometimes I feel like damn, I haven't talked to a female in a while. I haven't did anything with a female. I haven't etc. You may start feeling anywhere along those lines. You may even start feeling like you haven't had sex in a while, and you trying to go find a female or a male to have sex with. I know I said females a lot in this video. This goes for men and women. But yeah, that's it. DomUniverse taking off. I love y'all. And I say I love y'all a lot, right? I say it at the end of every video. Another thing I thought about earlier is, it dawned on me that if somebody love you more than you love yourself, that's another thing. If somebody love you more than you love yourself, there's an imbalance in your life. I know that I love people more than they love themselves. I talk to depressed people a lot. I talk to people with mental illness or people who feel low or emotional or emo. They don't have enough love for themselves. They don't have a lot of self-esteem. They don't have they don't depend on themselves enough. It's like they don't have it in them to feel like they are a prize or they are something that somebody should be willing to work for, or they just feel worthless. Anybody? Oh, and another thing is, if I posted this on Instagram yesterday, but I'm gonna say it again. If you have any questions you ever want to ask me, I will. Because I'm sick. I'm not even about to be. It's hard to keep responding to a lot of messages. I'm not even that big on YouTube, Instagram, or whatever. And it's actually a lot of people who like to message me, ask me questions. They even ask a lot of questions after questions. They may ask 50 questions within one sentence. But I don't have the time to keep on responding to all of these messages because it's going to become time consuming. I'm investing my energy in you. And then I'm even answering the same questions from people. If you have questions, you can email me. I'll leave my email in the description or my bio or Instagram, but I will put it in the description. You can ask me questions in my email, or you can snap me questions, or you can DM me questions on Instagram or Twitter, and I will either answer the questions on my YouTube, mainly my YouTube. I will answer the questions on my Instagram story, or my Snapchat, etc. But that's pretty much it. DomUniverse taking off. I love y'all. Like, subscribe, peace.